So we started this new series talking about the bottom, and we hear that, and I've read all week long about this, about what is the bottom for an addict. What is the bottom? It's some myths out there about what the bottom is and about what the bottom looks like and how what that means when every addict must hit bottom before they can get this thing. And hopefully over the next 2 or 3 weeks we can really find out what this means. Today we're going to take a clinical look at this. Next week we just going to walk through the story of the prodigal son and look at what that process looked like for him. We're going to look at from more of a biblical standpoint of what bottom looks like. That text kind of ends with, we looked at it as in the NIV yesterday, and it says he came to him senses. The King James says that he came to himself. Y'all know that? And then he got up. That was his bottom, where he came to his senses, or he came to himself.
That's right.
You know, and he had a revelation. And so then the third week, we're going to look at it from more of a therapeutic view, okay? So, the bottom is not, y'all, a situation or an event. It is not a situation or an event. What is a situation? A lot of times when people talk about they hit bottom, they will talk about a situation. My sister over here went to jail. And so, you know, that's bottom. You know, I went to jail. We had a brother that went through DTs yesterday. And so, you know, one of the brothers thought he was going to die. Like, man, you never seen nobody go through DTs and he ain't going to die? He just felt like he was going to die. You should have let him flip around on the floor a little bit longer. Maybe he would have remembered it when he came through.
Yeah.
But guess what? The insanity of this addiction is I can go to jail.
Yeah.
I can be flipping around on the floor, going through withdrawals, and then I will still go back and use again.
That's right. That's right.
Because I forget.
That's right.
And so it's not a situation or an event. And people will use that and say, and those are the myths, y'all, because it's none of that. And so when you hear people saying, when they mention an event or a situation and say, I know I've hit bottom, then you know they have to.
Right.
It's not that. My sister over here got a good definition. What you say it is?
Desperation.
Desperation. I like that. Y'all keep that in mind. It says the bottom is when the addict becomes willing to do what? Anything. To lift this merciless obsession from them. That's bottom, y'all. Bottom is when I become willing to do anything. The big book says it like this, that some of these we bought. We thought we could find an easier, softer way. And when you start saying, all right, you sure you want to get clean? Yeah. All right, do this, this, and this. And addicts are real compliant when they're suffering.
That's right.
You know, I'll do anything. They're real nice the first 2 or 3 days.
That's right.
We had a brother here, I won't call his name, from another center. His family said, you know, how's he doing? I said, you know, he's completely compliant. I have not seen what y'all have seen, what the people from the other center are saying, or even mother and father, what y'all. And the mother just said, you don't know him well enough. You know, because we have the capacity to be compliant for short periods of time. And you would think that we better do this, Diane. But then, by 3 weeks, 30 days come in, and then the real us show up.
That's right.
You know how y'all ladies say when y'all dating somebody to meet them, and we be real nice as men, and y'all women say, now, is this you, or is this your representative? You know, and typically, brothers, they be the representative. We can only be nice and open doors and do flowers for so long, then the real us show up.
That's right. That's right.
And that's the way we do as addicts. And then the real us show up. And what it really is, y'all, is the pain and the devastation of the situation goes away. And so if I can't feel the pain and the consequences, then I go back to doing what I was doing. Because I think I'm all right now.
That's right.
And then I'm being asked to do things that don't make sense to me because I'm past the consequence thing. I tell people all the time, I don't feel any consequences anymore from my using. I have to still know that I am an addict. I don't feel no consequences.
That's
And
right.
there's no evidence in my life.
That's right.
You know, I go to work every day. You know, I keep money. You know, I go home. All of those markers of what you look for as an addict, after a while, we don't have them no more.
That's right.
And so then, we lose our mind. That makes sense?
Oh my.
We know that little good can come to any addict who joins the fellowship unless he first accepts his devastating weakness and all its consequences. Our weakness is devastating. I am weak to this. It is hard for me to admit that. The big book says, the 12 by 12 says it like this. It is awful to admit, glass in hand, that I have warped my mind into such an obsession for destructive drinking, only an act of providence can remove it from me.
That's right.
It says it's truly awful.
That's right.
Man, it's truly awful for me to admit that I'm weak.
Yeah.
And the world say I ain't weak. You can have a beer. The guy that hung this TV up yesterday, he came from another ministry and he was working. He said, man, I want to share with the guys. I said, okay. And he started out, man, you delivered and you ain't this no more. And I'm like, whoa, we believe in the disease concept here, brother. We hiring you to hang the TV. We hire you to proclaim and teach. So you stick to hanging TV.
Yeah.
Let me handle the teaching.
Yeah.
You know. That might have been kind of mean, but those are my exact words when the group. Because he had went off on a tangent.
Yeah.
Was teaching something that to tell me that I'm not weak no more.
Wow.
To tell me that I'm not weak no more.
Wow.
But we will still quote. What do we do when Apostle Paul says in Corinthians, it is when I admit that I am weak, that I am made strong through Christ. What do we do with that?
Yeah.
Because he asked for that thorn to be removed from his side, and God said no 3 times.
That's
But
right.
he said, my strength is made perfect in the time of weakness.
That's right.
So why would I have a problem admitting that I'm weak?
That's right.
Because that's when the power of God can manifest itself through me. So it's all right. It don't make me less than to say I'm weak.
That's right.
It's okay.
That's right.
We can say we weak behind a whole bunch of things. It's all right.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, what'd I do? Did I do that?
Let's go back.
Uh-oh. I am not going to be able to fix that. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah.
what I done.
You split it, split the spoon.
You got to be that way.
There we are. There.
It,
Yeah.
and I told Miss Bernadette I didn't need her. I could do this all by myself. So we know that ain't true. Anyway. Psalms 119 and 67 says, before I was affected, I went astray. But now I keep thy word. Afflicted, I mean. Before he was afflicted,
Yeah.
he went astray.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so sometimes, y'all, it requires us. Because we're so arrogant, we got to be afflicted before we can stay humble.
That's right.
You know, because I don't know about what we call earth people. Maybe they have the ability to be humble. But us, we lose our mind. So we need to be afflicted. We need to be reminded.
Yeah. Yeah.
We need that. Our disease requires that.
That's right.
So, list of consequences, y'all. Oh, what happened? Man, I'm so hurt.
There you go.
Oh, okay, maybe that's it. Verse 1 of health consequences, organ damage. Organ damage. We come in here, y'all, and we have all kinds of health issues.
Wow.
you know, and we serve a God. I was talking to a guy this week. When he came in here, his side, his liver was swollen.
Yeah.
And, you know, it was protruding. And then he touched it, it hurt. But you know what? The liver will rejuvenate itself. He don't have any of those issues no more.
That's right.
But that brother came here with organ damage.
Yeah.
Some of us are messed up.
Yeah.
Long-term neurological, help me, say it.
You cut out.
Impairment. I am struggling. So, guess what, y'all? That's mental.
Yeah.
And Diane says long-term. So, guess what? Some of us have long-term issues with our thinking and with our brain.
Yeah.
Long-term.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of chemicals that we have put in our body, it has affected us.
That's right.
And you know what? I tell brothers all the time, especially the ones that have been through here more than once. I tell them, you're not the same. You know, what I would say, I just tell them, I said, you know what? You done lost a step. You done lost a step. Because they don't think as quickly and as sharply as they used to. Now, I'm going to hurry through this one, but it's true.
Yeah.
Long exposure to sexually transmitted diseases.
Yeah.
We do all kinds of things out there and subject ourselves to risky behavior.
Yeah.
That's why we tell everybody, when you go over there to that band that comes every Tuesday, to ask for the whole battery of tests. You know, and it's okay. Whatever you have, today we live with a lot of that stuff. We ain't dying with those diseases. You know, there was a time where you went there and it was a death sentence. But you can live long and healthy lives with whatever that sexually transmitted diseases that you get. But you need to know, because it's unkind and I think it's criminal for us to not be tested and to then go out. I think it ought to be a requirement for your loved one to not even ask no questions. Like, we ain't gonna ask no questions, Herman, whether you done that or not. Because all of us lie and say, you know what, I'm the only act in the world that did not participate in risky behavior. I'm different. Okay, be that as it may. You need to get some papers. And I need to see, and I'll see before we engage.
That's right.
That's what I do.
That's right.
You know how we say. You know how the police say, show me your papers?
That's right.
Family members, y'all need to say, show me your papers.
Yeah.
Mental health consequences.
Wow.
First one, depression. Depression.
Yeah.
And there's a difference between situational depression and clinical depression. All of us in here, when you first come in, you deal with depression. It's situational because your situation is so bleak and so dramatic. But if you find yourself 3 weeks, 6 weeks still in that fall, then maybe you need to go see somebody. You should be coming out of it by then, right, Diane? You start seeing the world a little more clearly. But if you can't, you know what? I tell people all the time, this is my definition. This ain't clinical. Diane and them have another one. I think you are crazy to be diagnosed and not take medicine. Right. You're not crazy for being diagnosed and taking the medicine.
That's right.
That's mine. That's Bussy, 10 and 10.
That's right.
If they say you are whatever, and you say I ain't gonna take that medicine, then that's what's crazy. Them people have told you.
That's right.
I went to an NA meeting last week, and this guy was sitting up there chairing the meeting like this. He was a Christian. And he said he went and they told him he had high cholesterol and high blood pressure. And he went to another fellowship talking about the church, and he was going to pray it away. And he stroked out. And he said, you might need to take your medicine. See? True story. I was like,
Oh my God.
no, seriously. Guess what? Y'all in here been been diagnosed and won't take your medicine.
And won't take him out.
Because you think if you take the pill,
Yeah,
then it makes you crazy.
yeah.
No, for those of us that's around you, not taking your medicine
That's right.
makes you crazy.
That's right.
And we don't want to deal with you without your medicine. And here it's against the rules to be diagnosed and not taken.
And I take him out.
Mood swings. Mood swings. Roller
Yeah.
coaster
Yeah.
of love. Say what?
Yeah.
They say for the first 90 days, y'all, that we're in recovery, we go through severe mood swings. Some of us, it lasts longer than others. But mood swings is a part of it. Anxiety is the other one. Anxiety. And that's just where we are on edge about everything all the time. That makes sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Legal consequences.
Oh my.
We had all, right?
Yes, sir.
Expensive jail sentence. Well, we go to jail for long periods of time. And that's just one of the consequences, y'all. On our way to the bottom, we have all of this. Probation, parole. We had a brother this week. I guess who else was this week? His probation officer said something to him. He on probation and parole. They just started that probably about the last 15 years where you can be on both. You know, they got you then. Darren, when you're on probation and parole, they got you hemmed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the lady said, you got to stay here. And he said, you can't tell me that. And she can. And he left because he volunteered to come. And she said that you had to stay. And it made him mad.
Wow.
And he showed her. See, addicts, we love to show people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll show you.
That's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
And lady said, I'm gonna show you. I showed people for years.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
In so many different ways. Haven't y'all showed people?
Yeah.
They'll say something and I'll say, you know what, I'll show you.
Yeah.
And go out and destroy my own life to prove a point. And that's when you know you're insane. When you go out and purposely destroy your life and you think it's gonna hurt somebody else.
Yeah.
Reverend Shelley said the definition of insanity is when I take the poison
Yeah.
and I wait on you to die.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That what?
Yeah.
Ain't that what he was telling?
Yeah.
That's what it is. I take the poison, Candace, but I'm waiting on it to affect you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And family members, you have to get real good at watching your loved one die and hurt. That's the hard part. Next week, when we look at this from a biblical standpoint, that father did not go and chase, that father did not go and look for, that father waited on the porch for that son to hit bottom. And then, when he came back, he loved him and restored him. But he was perfectly fine sitting out there on the porch. We don't get clean until y'all get all right with watching us suffer.
Yeah.
But as long as our chaotic behavior affects you, we don't get clean.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta talk big talk and go in the house and cry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Or get an Al-Anon and go and talk to some other people, but talk that talk. Oh, I don't know where you're gonna go and what you're gonna do, but you ain't gonna come here.
That's right.
And then go and say, girl, hold me accountable because he was looking so sad. I wanted to let him in and I just don't know. So when I see him, I'm gonna call you. Remind me that he stole the TV. All right, I want you to start out and say, that's the TV still up. For real, cause we forget. Cause we can look sad, we professionals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we practice a speech too that will tug at the heart of you. We know where our loved ones are weak. You know, I knew, you know, my auntie, you know, she didn't want to see me out.
Yeah.
And all I had to do is tell her, you know, auntie, I'm out here and I ain't got nowhere to go, you know. Or we country people, I'm just hungry.
I'm just hungry. Yeah,
I'm just hungry.
yeah.
I'm not asking you to give me any money. I'm not asking you to live. I just need to come in and bathe and get something to eat.
Yeah.
And I'll just go back out there. Shoot. Who can stand up to that?
Yeah.
All I want is a piece of bread
That's right.
in the bag. That's it. And if you don't give me that, you ain't a Christian.
That's right. That's right.
You ain't a Christian.
That's right.
See, addicts are the only people that have the ability to withdraw salvation from people.
Oh my.
At least we think we do, because we'll let you know in a minute. You ain't no Christian. You ain't no Christian. Then you told some people that, ain't you? Yeah, see? She can withdraw. Because guess what? We know exactly what you are supposed to do as a Christian and how you are supposed to treat us. We just don't know what we're supposed to do.
Right.
But we are really keen on what you should do. And we don't mind letting you know.
That's right.
Yeah. That's what I would tell them, you know. You ain't saved. See, you said you love me, and then you said you were a Christian, and you won't even let me
That's right.
bathe in your house.
That's right.
And you won't even
Yeah.
give me
Yeah.
bread.
Yummy. Yeah. That's right.
I got a saying that I tell my wife all the time. When I ask her, you know, for something to eat, last week she called me. She was nice too, Candace. She said, baby, would you like something to eat? But I had just ate at 5. And so I didn't know I was going to be hungry at 8. And so when I got on, I said, you going to cook anything? She said, I asked you. I quoted the Bible. I said, I'm just going to be like the old widow woman. I'm just going to go in here and get me some flour and lay down. I just knew that was going to get her. You know what she said? She said, well, okay, get your flour. She ain't saved either. Because she would have got up, right? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Y'all ain't saved either. Difficulty finding jobs. Y'all, the big book says this in the family afterwards, that dad may not never make the kind of money that he used to make. All of these things here, y'all, makes it difficult for us to find a job. And so we got to find a level of acceptance when we re-enter the job market. You may have been an executive, and you may have been the CEO, you may have been whatever. But now, you're a criminal.
Yeah.
And you got a theft on your record. And your job history is checkered at best. And so, you don't get to always go back.
That's right.
Now, I told you my sobriety date was 1992. But when I actually came in the program, it was 1989. You know, something happened. I fell off about 4 or 5 times, but that ain't what we're talking about. That ain't the point. But my point is that when I went out and found a job, I was making $5 an hour. My first job from this place. Minimum wages was $4.75.
Wow.
So, you know, a long time ago.
Yeah.
So, but these people at the church, my spiritual advisor told me, Obi, you're not being robbed. That's where you are. That's your market value.
Wow.
I said, $5 an hour? And I got my first paycheck. It was $168.35.
Wow.
And I cried.
Wow.
All week long, Janika. That's what it was. But I kept going, and I got promotions and all that stuff. And thank God today I make a little bit more than $5 an hour. You know, but that was my worth because of these things. And none of the skills that I had acquired over the years could I put on my resume. Panhandling, dope selling, stealing, robbing, begging. I couldn't put that on the resume. And I was good at it. That's the truth, y'all. So we got to deal with this.
Yeah.
And then maybe we find bottom through these things and start to get ourselves together. Social consequences, let me hear it. Relational changes, both in family and friends. This is a hard one. We have some relational changes. Because guess what, y'all? Our relationship with our family is not the same relationship that we are accustomed to it being. The big book says it like this: on our way to the bottom, we start to seek out sordid places and sordid people. Because what we want to do as addicts, I just want to be a little bit better than her.
Yeah.
So I go and find people that's just like me, but because I'm arrogant, I just want to be a little bit more superior.
That's right.
But I don't want to be around y'all because y'all make me feel bad.
Right.
So I go and find people. That's what it means when they say we seek out sordid people and sordid places.
Yeah.
I start hanging out in places that I used to didn't hang out in.
That's right.
Because my friends don't want me around them no more. Or my family don't want me around them anymore. Or the nicer y'all are to me, the worse y'all make me feel. That's the crazy part. When my family was nice to me, it hurt me. Because all that done is reminded me of how bad I was. You know, they would say, all right, we're going to go out over, we're going to give you a little money, we're going to bring you over to the house, we're going to, put some clothes on you and, so you can go. But all that done is reminded me, of how bad I was doing. And one day, I just started crying. I said, I'm like Cinderella. Because Cinderella turned into a pumpkin. Because what they would do when we leave the club, they said, all right, we're going to go back by the house. Now give me them shoes I'll let you wear. Give me my shirt. They undressed me. I said, I'm Cinderella. Because I turned right back into a pumpkin at midnight. But I was all right with that, because you know what I do? Then I asked you for some money. Long as you gave me some money, I was all right. Yeah. And give me some money. Give me $10, then I'll go. But them being nice hurt my feelings too. And y'all, let me briefly talk about this. Those of us who are parents, that's the hardest dynamic. How do we navigate back through that relationship with our children? I tell people that you probably should enter in through the friendship door rather than the parental door, or you get your feelings hurt. We can be gone for 3 years and go back in and start trying to tell them what, try to be daddy and mama all of a sudden. And we ain't been there. And then when they say that, then our feelings get hurt. When they say, well, you ain't been around. Now I'm crying. Now I gotta go get high because you done told me some truth. Divorce, loss of children. We kind of talked about that, but that's a big one. A lot of us, y'all, we go through this. These are the consequences on our way to the bottom.
That's right.
Loss of jobs. We're almost through it. Some kind of way it mysteriously came back and worked, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's magic. Boom. Better stop that till it's over and be done with crazy again. It says, until the addicted person humbles himself, his sobriety, if any, will be precarious.
Wow.
And we're going to look at the definition of this word. Precarious. Not securely held or in position. Dangerously likely to fail or collapse. Until I what? Humble myself, my sobriety, if any, is precarious.
Yeah.
And it's 2 H's in step 1. Honesty and humility. And without them two, we in trouble. See, because I got to get this thing to where it is, I got to get honest. On the back of the AA chip, it says this: to thine own self be true. I may lie to y'all, but I got to be able to get honest with myself. Got to. And I love it. Not securely held in position. That's what's been happening to y'all. Your sobriety was not securely held. And it was not just likely to fail, but dangerously likely to fail. Boy, that's something else, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
You are dangerously likely to fail. Now, if I said that to y'all, y'all be reporting me saying, what's you mean? He don't believe in me. He said, I am dangerously likely to fail. Don't nobody say that to nobody. Sobriety requires honesty and humility. It requires that, y'all.
Yeah.
And guess what, y'all?